Oh yes, here we go, the T.N.F. It's the night we hand over the keys to yous and we go through all your talking points and all that sort of carry on. Just realised there's a jacket. I was wondering why my chair looked different there. Got a jacket on it, mate.
How unprofessional.
How unprofessional. I thought my chair looks different there. Fucking shocking, man. Tell you what else is shocking, Mark.
Go for it.
I was in Tesco the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? It was dearer for a tin of Baxter's soup than it was for a steak. £2.60 for the Baxters, $2.50 for the steak because it was on offer.
Welcome to Thatcher's Britain, mate. This is what's happening, mate. We're going crazy. We're going crazy again. You've got £3 for a bunch of bananas. You've got £1 for a bag of 6 crisps. What's some other guy putting away his pack lunch? You know what I mean?
I know.
Who knows? But it's crazy, mate. It's Thatcher's Britain.
Yeah, probably right, mate. Probably right. I went for the steak though. It was like, it's cheaper.
Of course.
I was fucking delighted, mate. But I couldn't believe that when I seen the soup. I was like, fucking hell, my steaks were cheaper than that. Anyway, fuck knows why I'm talking about that. Let's get on with it. Do all that good stuff. Give us a wee like, give us a share, buy some here if you so wish. If you want to become a Bhoycie Bus member, like some of you have, then of course feel free to do so. Loads of you in the chat as well. Big shout out, Johnny Logue, 420 somewhere, Alan Mockwa, Chris M, Colin Sweeney, a tin of tartan paint. Great name. Anyway.
Tin of Baxter's soup.
Tin of Baxter's soup, mate. Definitely. Matt, I was looking at the old... We don't do it often. I mean, if you go on many of the other podcasts, I like to have a wee browse every now and then, mate. They're constantly reminding us of their amazing progress and greatness and how many... Fucking all they want to talk about is, their pod. But we've not really done much of that of late, so... Had to look at some numbers. You like these, Mark? You like these? Not even 3 full years, right? Only one out the team of about 7 or 8 of us had any podcast experience. That was me. 760 odd full shows. And when we say a full show, that'll be on average time. Will actually be over an hour for the bus, right? Not your shorts and including all that, right? 1.3 million views. Nearly 5,000 subscribers.
Not bad.
And all members work full time. So doing that is not being. They're doing okay, mate. We are doing okay.
And we've never deviated. You know what I mean? We can see this. We can see this. The sea changes and how Celtic podcasting has took off. I mean, it took its peak during COVID.
Correct.
A lot of them found their niche there. I thought we've got a kind of unconscious mistrust for Scottish media within the Celtic fan base, and we all found an outlet during COVID, and it was Celtic podcasts, and a lot of them started to have strong for the fans, by the fans, etc. And I'm not naming names, but a lot of them kind of deviated away from that and went more mainstream and started hiring student journalists, etc., etc., etc. We've stuck to our own kind of guns on this. We don't need any following or respect for the club. We're just a few guys talking about Celtic, and I think that's where we're probably part of this small band. We're no tainted. We're no looking for anything other than just talking our own nonsense about Celtic. And some folk agree and some folk don't. But 1.3 million views later, that's not bad, Bhoycie. And the way I look at it is I just talk to you like I'm talking to somebody in my work or doing the pub or whatever. And there's just maybe a few folk listening, and then I don't.
That worries me. I thought you were putting on an act, mate. I'm fucking like, is it that all the time?
No, well, I am the Grim Reaper. I got my air, man. It's the Grim Reaper. But in fact, it was the first game back, the Kilmarnock game, and the guy sits behind me. I forget his name, sorry, and he says, "Hope we're going to get a wee bit more positive spin after you this season." I said, if you want to ask me, do I think Kyogo's good enough to play for Real Madrid? Like I told you last season, he's not good enough for. I'll not lie to you. If you ask me, he's good enough to score against St Johnstone, I'll tell you he scored 10. But I'm not negative just for the sake of it.
No, of course not.
Right for there. But I think that's the thing. I think I genuinely think if me and you, or me and we can just come on and the both of us said, "Oh, this is the exact same thing," and you agreed and I agreed, that becomes boring.
Oh, fuck, who wants that?
I know we have a odd.
Disagree to disagree, my man.
Exactly, mate. I mean, definitely, and you know, I always said for day one, even when me and you spoke for hours on the phone after the pod, that when things are not looking good, or folk are looking for just honest, by the scruff of your neck chat about Celtic. This is
Yes.
one of the positive company. There's no airs and graces. There's no. I mean, need to be careful that Peter's watching. None of us have got blogs or vlogs or any other interest other than.
Maybe I do, mate. Maybe I've got one of those alter egos.
You have, well, maybe
No,
you're
I
one of
don't.
maybe you're one of the bloggers that does the insights at the AGMs and starts spinning stories about how Peter Lawwell was the best chairman in British football, even though he was in amongst the club in 1992 when he nearly went bust. He was a financial controller when Celtic started to lose money. And nobody seems to remember, recall, or want to speak about. But that's by the by. If I want to listen to somebody to speak the absolute truth, I'll listen to me, you, or this pod, or Jeanette Finlay, who stood at Glasgow last week and told everybody that we wanted to hear. It was brilliant, and she's been spoken to by the police about it. But good on her.
Ah, love that, mate. Love that. Yeah, and all talking all things bus as well right now. Obviously, each month I'm going to be trying to reward the team marks. I'm going to put you on the spot tonight, mate. I'm going to, you've got 100 quid, mate, set aside for you on the, we get paid off YouTube about the 22nd, 23rd. I have £100 coming your way, mate, so you could do whatever you want.
No.
No, it's coming your way, mate, so you can put it to charity, do what you want, mate. You can tell us what you do with it, mate. Let us know what you do with it. You could maybe buy my Celtic merch. I don't know. Do what you want with it, mate. It'll be a good story to hear, mate. It'll be a good story to hear whatever you've done with it.
I'm asleep for guilt with that.
Oh, fuck that. Shut up, mate. Don't worry. Even if do whatever you want, mate. Do something philanthropic if you want. But you have it. It's cool.
Well, I'll maybe subscribe to some other podcasts on their Patreon, and maybe go to their what's that text message service today? What's it called again?
Oh, it was the begins with a D.
Aye. Oh fuck. You can do that. You pay to get into it. You know what I mean? That's, trust me. If you paid the money to get in your chat, you pay to get back out again, wouldn't you?
Oh, fuck. That's actually 100 quid for, Marc. That's it. A golden handshake, mate. See you later.
Bye. Well, that's really good of you, mate. And we'll talk about that off air. And we'll.
Aye, but I just want. But it's just so. The only reason I'm saying it like that is so that folk can see when they're watching that it's not like a fucking. We're not. Do you know what I mean? It's not to put. That wasn't. Really
it's not just
on a bad way.
No, it's not just Russell's hair and he's.
Aye, now I've got that out there, mate. Aye, I'm like Father Christmas this year now, mate.
Well, it's getting to the stage now where Bhoycie's Wish is about to start.
Aye, the charity single, mate. Need to get in the recording studio. That's what we'll do with 100 quid, mate.
Phil's probably got that chat AI. See him? He can probably put in Bhoycie's Wish in the computer and get a single. That's got number 45 right now, isn't it?
I think I sent you some verses away with the birds one night.
You did, mate. That was 24 cards of Strongbow later, but it was really good. I remember that well.
Aye, I'm the rest.
We talk some piss, didn't we?
We do, mate. We do. Let's talk about Celtic. Right, let's get into it. This is a good start because for me, after the international break, a good restart, I should say. Because now we're saying this off air, now's a real nitty-gritty time of the season, particularly for Celtic's point of view when, as we've been discussing the last few Thursdays, there's real, even from yourself, optimism, I would call it, towards the European campaign. There's a real sort of sense of anticipation ahead of it, I would say. And also the league now gets a wee bit more of a consistent run. Like there's one more League Cup game at a weekend, is that right? And then... Oh, I don't know. Fuck it. But anyway, it feels like the international football's away for a while. And this is where we can really get our teeth into the new season. I don't like it being so stop-start. But it's with real key games coming. We'll be getting back to seeing Celtic twice a week. And that has been really missed, I think, so far. That's been since way beyond the end of last season, since we had them regularly twice a week. So really looking forward to that. Games are crucial that are coming up. But it's also been interesting, this restart, what they've recently done. I think they released it yesterday, was this VAR episode that they now do. I think they're committing to doing it once a month, Mark, and I think it's been a talking point, to be fair to say, amongst all football fans. Celtic with a real specific interest. Now, I'm gonna give you my take on what the major talking point seems to have been, or one of them anyway. There's the penalty call, which is just a joke. How that's his view. I just stood tall. No, he's rushed out to there, then stood still, and it's took the guy out. I mean, that is undeniable. But flip it a wee bit and look at the other bit where I think Celtic fans are getting their knickers in a twist over nothing. If just that's not me saying one's right, one's wrong, just for the sake of balance. It's just my honest opinion. When I see the uproar about a referee saying don't make that, don't try and tackle there, whatever it was he said. I don't mind that, mate. See, if you watch other sports, this isn't a Rangers thing or an anti-Celtic thing. Apparently, this goes on all the time. Don't do it because there's nothing wrong with a referee literally protecting the two sides, fulfilling the fixture with 11 men on the park. I think it's a far more mature outlook. My thought process is it's probably going on a lot longer than we've known. I think it's went on a lot longer. And I think it's time to be a wee bit grown up about it and go, are you honestly thinking from that one clip that that's the only bit of advice a ref gave us to a Rangers player?
No.
To go, don't do that. Don't be, that extent it's going too far. The one that really confuses me though, and I want your take on both these examples, obviously, but I just don't understand that take on the penalty one. With, is it McCrory, actually, the ex-Rangers goalkeeper? Oh, that'll be why. That'll be why. No, I'm only kidding. But the ex-Rangers goalkeeper, I think it's McCrory. I mean, he takes our player out, mate. There's just no debate.
Nah.
How they when you hear that conversation, that side of it worries me. And again, is that an anti-Celtic thing? I don't know. I struggle to work out if it is. I think there is plenty of evidence of a lot of decisions going against Celtic, but I've got to be honest, since VAR came in, particularly in the Celtic Rangers fixture, I think the VAR's done exactly what we hoped it would, and it's got right calls, and that benefited us, yes, but benefited out ones we wouldn't have got before VAR, so I've been happy with that. But hearing that sort of analysis, if you want to call it that, from the VAR officials, that's a strange take, to say the very least, on the penalty. But I want your thought first on the... In fact, give me your thoughts on both, mate. Just crack on.
Well, what you're saying there about the referee shouting, don't tackle Tom, don't tackle Tom. That's the first time I've thought about it that way, where he is kind of trying to, like, protect the game as such. And there might probably a bit of truth in there. I'd rather just be paranoid and just pretend it's a Rangers. Don't tackle him, Tom, don't tackle him. I'd rather do that, but maybe logically there probably is that side. That's probably, I've not heard that yet, and maybe there is a bit of truth in that. So if that is the case, genuinely, I'm not got much of a problem with it if it's consistent and it's across the board. And if, I think the idea itself is great. But I think it's created more questions for us than answers. I mean, I look at how quickly they dismissed that penalty kick for Kyogo, and the fact that the referee with a slow motion camera says it looks like he stood still when he's literally took 3 steps and jumped forward like Spider-Man jumping off a wardrobe, and how he managed to think that in his brain that wasn't a foul was, and then as a cracking shot, and then the one where that boy does tackle the Ross County player. See, when you even forget the fact that he won the ball, which led to Rangers scoring, but when he won the ball, it was a foul. So the fact that he's scored from that foul means that it surely must be part of the phase of play. But the fact that the referee's shouting in his ear, he won the ball, he's had a huge touch of the ball. So that's the VAR. If they're listening to that, which they are, they know straight away that is an obvious refereeing error. They should be conducting some sort of on the field review of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and Colin did his best to kind of explain it away, and I think Colin probably a good appointment for Scottish football. I think he should probably be in the administrating side rather than on the park, because he did explain himself really well.
He's the head of referees, is he not now?
Yeah, he's head of referees. How a Catholic has got that far in life is beyond me, but I don't know.
Do you think do you know what it is about him, mate? I think he's got the ego to do it.
Yeah,
And this level of transparency. I think this level of transparency is something that's been needed. And see, to be fair, it's too easy to complain about this sort of thing. I mean, already I've seen once a month's no enough. And I'm like, can we just let it play out right now? We've always demanded what hear for referees, hear their thought process. We're now getting insights into how they've come up with it. We're still moaning at that. And of course, I think there'll be plenty that'll be subjective. Other ones that I find baffling, such as that penalty one. But then you've got a guy fronting it whose ego can handle what comes his way with that, who spoke, I thought, pretty eloquently on them all, very calm. Whether you agree or disagree, there's full explanations he's given for fucking everything. Everything that's highlighted in the programme, I should say. This is massive strides forward. In fact, I think it's quite innovative in a way as well. I don't know if English Premier League has such a programme, but I would have thought I'd have seen it on Sky Sports News more often if it were. I think this is... We're always quick to criticise our game, Marc. Surely we've got to give the kudos when it's deserved. And you have instances like this where you go, do you know what? That's outside the box thinking. It's something that kind of has been called for in terms of we wanted referees post-match, I think a lot of people. But it's a step in that direction. And it gives you accountability and it gives you explanations. Whether you agree or disagree, there's plenty more meat on the bone now for us to chew over and analyse with these decisions once a month than there was when you're just going, how the fuck they come up with that? Well, now you can hear how they got there with the big instances, and you've got someone at the front trying to explain it as a very experienced referee from their perspective. I'm struggling to see downsides to that, and I don't want this to become something that, maybe particularly Celtic fans, I don't mean that in a bad way, start resenting instantly. I think it's something that we should really be embracing, this type of logic, because I think it makes sense and I think it's good for the game and it's good for us to get that insight as well.
First of all, that reminds me of that game frustration. I can't get it out of my head every time you click that.
When I click that,
number five
Sorry
rows.
about that. I didn't
No,
really
it's great. It brings it back to my youth.
It's a bit like that, eh? Good game.
That's great.
That was it. But that always got a wee bit touching, Hussein.
Oh, fuck, I.
Like, I've seen, like, I think my mum even stormed out once for that game. Do you know what I mean?
It's a brilliant game. You're watching 4 and you click it and you get a 6 and you go, you're a bastard.
Fucking bastard, I know.
It's called frustration for a reason. But, no, to be quite honest with you, this is the first time in my memory that we've saw in-house marking of the homework, because normally we hear the ex-referees or that guy in England on Sky Sports kind of looking at decisions and kind of giving a kind of vague opinion. This is in-house analysis and in-house explanations. And one thing, it could have been very easy for Willie Collum to just brush over a couple of those incidents. He came out and said straight away 2 of them were wrong. And so he's telling me that they're not perfect. They're willing to say they're wrong. And I think you've got to give back respect for that. I totally agree. See, if anybody's going to moan about this, that's fine. I think if we found the cure for cancer, it would be the right colour. And in this world we live in, mate, you know what I mean? We're never going to all agree something is a good idea. I think I watched the show the other day there, and although you're shouting at the telly, oh, how could he think that? But at least we're getting something explained to us in-house, but within no Bobby Madden's opinion on how it was came to be. We've actually heard that we've been shouting since day one for the concrete video analysis for us to get recordings. A bit of, I said quite transparent. All right,
you're right.
And it's gave us more questions and answers with the incidents, but at least see the more this is getting highlighted and the more this is getting shown. I think there's less and less corners for these referees to hide in, and they're going to have to realise that not only is the wee conversations getting done between them and the caravan and the Sky, it's going to be getting published once a month or whatever it's going to be. And I actually heard last night that my work was telling me that Willie Collum was on Clyde Super Scoreboard, but he stayed for the full show. He's only supposed to do that wee half an hour segment, and he stayed there for the full show and answered all the questions, and that does open the door for transparency. I think we are getting to the stage now that the fourth wall, I think they call it, the third wall they call it in TV world, that's opened up now, and now we're getting the actual inside information. And before we know what we're going to be getting referees with the microphones, it's been happening in the NFL for 40 years. I don't see why it can't happen in Scottish football or English football. It's happening. And I
They
think
obviously are mic'd up in the sense that we're getting to hear them, when they're doing
yeah,
their coaching on the park and things like that. So, yeah, I mean,
just press a button.
connect up with the
Phil,
TV. The TV
and
companies, it can be done quite straightforwardly, mate.
I
I,
think that
I wouldn't mind that at all.
I think the worst thing that could happen, Bhoycie, is I think you look at St Johnstone banning more and more Celtic and Rangers fans. Like, I think what's happening in Scottish football now is we're seeing chairmen cutting their noses off to spite their face and keeping fans locked out. But we're also seeing the fans who's attending the stadiums in the winter months. Boys, they're like the last person to know what's going on regarding VAR. See, all you get is that TV saying possible yellow card, a possible red card, or whatever. There's none information whatsoever. You could get home that night and find out it was a number. In fact, I'll give you an example. In the last minute of the Scottish Cup final there was a foul on Celtic's 30, 40 yards out. I think it was Dyson Maeda got fouled off a Rangers player. See all my section that was sitting in that stadium, we thought Maeda was getting sent off. We never even knew it was the Rangers player that was getting VR checked for a red card. You know what I'm talking about? Because the football happens that fast. It doesn't say
That's
what's the
fair.
red card to Rangers. And when did I get home, I seen that when I
so VAR check realistically should appear on the screen and then say what it is, rather than just saying, but it says possible red card, and you're going, hey, but for fucking who?
I know. Well,
if you're in the stands, you've not got that benefit. No, that's totally fair, mate. That's a great point.
Look at Kyogo's instant. We all know it's a penalty kick, but see that flagged up saying possible red card. I mean, we wouldn't have known whether it was Kyogo going with these studs or the keeper going with these studs. We wouldn't have known. Listen, everybody that watches the football is putting in a service. I'm not suggesting them no, but I think one barrier we have to break down is that when we'll get referees with the ability to explain things after the park, and I think the next step now is to a wee bit more fan engagement within the stadium. It's not going to cause a riot by telling the fan base it's a possible foul on number 5 for a raised arm. It's information that probably some of the fan base already know, but I think a wee bit of wider explanation might just start to dissolve this mistrust we've got for VAR and referees within Scottish football, especially Celtic fans, although it is kind of moving over across to Ibrox nowadays, where they're getting more and more paranoid, probably because they know their penalty kick this season, but I'm sure that'll be fixed on Sunday when they've got a tough away game.
Maybe. Just quickly as well, I want your take on this. Do you prefer having VAR or not?
Yeah, I do, mate. I do. I think we've got less and less ways of cheating, although it's got avenues.
Is that a Celtic then mind coming out, or is your genuine opinion on football in general?
Football in general,
it's not. I don't think it has been, but I think it's killed a wee bit of life at the game. I think from a Celtic perspective that we've got what we were looking for.
I think the first 2 seasons in English football and the first season in Scottish football of VAR is totally tainted what the reality is now. It is getting faster. There's getting less and less control. I think that we've had the shock originally where it's been really bad, but the reality is since that first season, it has been getting faster decisions. We've not been getting 10 minutes injury time. We've not been getting.
That's true.
I think, but what I will say is,
offside and all that shite. Remember?
I think anybody, and you're old enough, unfortunately, like myself, anybody that watches football in the 90s, and well, I'm sorry, mate, we're all getting to the grey hair stage now.
I was at the grey hair stage, not the grey hair stage.
I was going to say that. I don't call you bought. Did you have a wee chart like a Dulux plate? You just picked the colour. I don't know how it works. I really don't.
They take it for the back of your head.
Oh, do they?
Oh, it's so as fuck, man. Shortest day of my life.
I never show me that.
Shortest day of my life, mate.
Similar to teeth the same and all. I suppose you quite saw that and all.
Well, they put like it's funny you kind of lick your teeth after someone says that you kind of count them with your tongue. You know, someone mentions his teeth. You never do that. I'm always like, are they all still there? But apparently that's like metal things in your gums, man.
It's like take them out. I woke up that one there a few months ago. I was drinking. I woke up the next day and I thought my tongue. I must have swallowed it in my sleep. I I've done that twice. But what was I going to say there? But anybody who's alive in the 90s and
Sure.
watched the refereeing in Scottish football, and we were all crying out for some sort of, why you get this, get the VR, get some sort of why they can't cheat us anymore. Well, we've got it now. They will always find ways. They'll always find ways of getting at that wee edge, but it's getting less and less likely they can just change a game. Like, I think beating, for Tom's
I
sake.
think they've stepped up for us though in these fixtures, Mark. Celtic
Yeah, they
Rangers
have.
games
Oh,
where they potentially didn't have to. Like
Aye.
like the Johnston push one and all that. I go, they've went above and beyond to make that decision there because yes, when you look at the replay, it's right, but I don't think anyone's going mental over it, mate. If that wasn't even looked at,
No,
you're not. I think it would take that link guy on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? To fucking analyze it and zoom in and go, how was this missed? But it would take that getting pointed to you, not saying you would be, the majority would be pointing out, if you know what I mean. That would be something that would take most people to be pointed towards. So when I see that, I go, do you know what? It's not even just that they're looking for ways out of doing things right. They've actually kind of stepped up for Celtic in a way as well. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I see really good benefits to VAR. And then when I try and watch other football out with Celtic, that's where I think it's really killed it for me. English football is going that anyway with the money and the just fairies, mate. Let's just have it right. I mean, they're just fairies footballers now. They play for themselves, not for their club. They build their own brand. The club isn't the brand anymore. The player's the brand. And that makes the spectacle harder to be as invested in. I mean, people forget when we were, say, I know you've got fleeting interest in anything outside Celtic, but when you used to watch Man U Arsenal, Roy Keane against Vieira, bear in mind they were both multi-millionaires as well then. And it never felt like they were. You could relate to them still. They still look like, now you can't relate to, you watch English football, you just don't have anything that's remotely relatable about almost any of them. So anyway, we'll move on.
No, you're right. Just quickly, you're right. I mean, I did watch a lot of English football right up until about 2014, 15 maybe.
There you go.
And you could kind of, all right, we're always on daft money, but you did think, like, you go John Terry, you thought Chelsea or Keane, Man U, and you did think they were kind of staples. But see now, even like say, even in a diluted version, like Martin Riley left us 2 weeks ago, and for me, it was like, in my mind, he was moved on half an hour later. I'm not getting like you're getting less and less people who you fall in love with, like, and they just move on. It's just like, it's just like a revolving door, you know what I mean? And maybe it's because we're getting older, we're not sitting as fanboys anymore, but I just think sometimes, like, people are building their own brand and they get their own career panned out and all that. And there's almost no hope of you signing a player that's going to come in and do well and stay forever. You know what I mean? So Carl McGregor's like, all right, you're one-half. Scott Brown's your one-half. But I think the deciding factor of these kind of players is they're Scottish, they earn a good chunk of wage, and the daft offer that they could get is probably passing by the time they feel crazy in love with the club. So the football players are just more or less turned into brands now. And you're talking now, if a football player can give up his career at the highest level or go to Saudi Arabia and play in front of 40 and 50 fans, they're doing it to drop a hat because the money's that crazy that they can't turn it down. So even the love for the games went a wee bit because of how money motivated it all is. But so is everything else in life, I suppose, isn't it?
No, that's true, particularly if you're looking at backs and backs of suit, mate.
Of course, I was going to say that.
You need to be a footballer to afford it. You need to be a footballer to afford that now.
Well, I bet you wait those. God, that sounds dear, isn't it? To £3 for a tin of soup. God's sake, you can make one for that.
That was in Tesco, mate. In Tesco's, man. I'm still not over it. But I got steaks for £2.50, so I'm happy. But I point came in there for smell the glove. I mean, I must be fucking on an ego trip the night or something. Because I thought he said Beckham started all that blonde first. Club second, Bhoycie. And I was like, I'm at the same blonde club as Beckham. Was that what you were saying? When he obviously used to have the long hair.
That's right.
Basically, Beckham started that brand thing first, Bhoycie is what it means.
Oh, you get my eyes. You get my eyes now.
What does that mean?
No, because, you thought it said...
oh, I know. But I told you I'm a specky now. I just don't wear it in the pod. Oh, I'm a specky, mate.
God love you,
Oh,
mate. You're doing better than me to even see that.
I look like fucking, honestly, mate, I cut about
Could have
looking
won
like,
this serum.
I look half like, no, I'm a fuck. I look like, I don't know, like Deirdre Rashid meets Austin Powers.
Well, mate, do you know something? There's photographs of me as a young boy and I look like Jack Duckworth. See the big glasses? How about what do you call it?
Oh,
Corey?
so did you have glasses when you were young? You
I
just
have, I
refused
have
now.
glasses as a 3-year-old.
Did you wear them? Never.
No, because so see this eye here, I've got a
Mm,
scar along see the pupil. It's got so you can't fix it unless you took it out and give it a good
gotcha.
wipe. You can never
Gotcha.
fix it. So what's happened that this eye has been working twice as hard for 30 odd year. So it's just deteriorating and deteriorating. But this eye can never be fixed. So
Nah.
yes, I don't know unless you find a way.
Handy if you ever go into a fight, though. Do you know what I mean? They punch and I'm not bored, mate.
I didn't even see it. You know what I
Don't
mean?
worry about it, mate.
It's funny how I've managed to get this long with 1.5 eyes. To be quite honest with you.
Right. That's us at the halfway point. Everyone get your points in because we want to go through as many of your talking points as possible as well. It is the T.N.F after all. Just before we get any of those, I'm having a wee look here, Mark. Upcoming fixtures. This is exciting when you read these out. So you've got Celtic Hearts, and honestly, I think if we want to have a deeper dive into that, I know someone was asking in the chat earlier, it was 1888 CFC. Everyone confident for Saturday? I'm very confident. I think Stephen Naismith's been absolutely found out. I think he started wearing Boohoo Man clothes at the side. Big silly 3/4 length sleeve t-shirts. So he thinks he looks fashionable and that. It's like, you're a fucking... He was like, you know when you hate players like Alex Ray? I fucking hated Naismith as well. A diving little rat. Rat. Absolutely. See when he fucking... He stamped on Brown and all that, remember, at Tynecastle and all that shit as well. And that was him as a veteran. He had no maturity. And see him on the side. Remember he tried to chop up a Celtic player when he was fucking in the dugout. Was it a Celtic player? I'm sure it was. He got involved. He kind of goes in. He just goes with his elbows. He turns his shoulder on them. Trips him up. Honestly, it was only about 2 years ago. There's footage of it, mate. You'll find it. But now he's ego. Aye,
right. He did at Tynecastle, was it not?
He did. He definitely did. I think he'd forgotten he was playing. I think he forgot he wasn't playing. Sorry, and it's just been an instinctive thing. That's who he was. But Naismith, he's came third, mate. He's came third, and he's now bought his hype like I knew a wanker like him would. And it's just fucking glorious to watch how shite he's doing this year. I think we will put real pressure on him on Saturday. And a lot of it won't be missed. There's people with long memories as well, long careers at Celtic, like your Calmax, like your Forrests, who will be there saying, and they'll be driving up going, fucking get it round this prick. Let's make sure. I know they're all ultimate professionals and that, but you can't help having a wee bit of personal needle sometimes. And this guy's been a wanker. See when folk, quite often you go this way, it's a compliment if your rivals think you're a wanker and all that. See, in this case, it's actually not. I just think I thought you were a shite footballer and I think you're a wanker. So there's two, mate. Well done. But I think we could put real pressure on his job. And honestly, I don't lose any sleep if he couldn't afford Baxter soup in the morning. I'm telling you that right now. But I look at the fixtures. 6 days, mate, the Champions League kicks off. 6 days. Then it's a League Cup quarter-final. So you're into the nitty-gritty of that tournament as well. Then you look at away at St Johnstone. Should be something that we look to win. Again, Craig Levine there, fucking 4-6-0 formation face. Then it's Dortmund away, Ross County away. This is a period, mate, where I think it really comes alive. I'm looking at this fixture list here and you're going, it's 2 a week now, mate. We're back into up to the 6th. It's 2 fixtures a week, or I think roughly, or 2 kind of. 6 days, I think, is the maximum gap. One of them. But it's an exciting time when you get that wee bit of momentum as a fan as well. And as I said earlier, it feels like we can get our teeth into the season now, which I'm choking to do because you want to see the new players all involved now as well. We've only had a fleeting glimpse so far of a record-free player. Dylan McCown. Why do I keep calling him that? What is his first name?
Look,
Give up. What?
Luke McCowan. Luke McCowan.
I think I called him Lee McCown. I keep calling him Dylan McCowan.
Oh, you
I don't
want.
even know Dylan McCowan. It's weird,
You're
right?
thinking
But,
Dylan McGeoch, and you're thinking maybe that's in your brain. I don't know.
maybe. That's an exciting time of the season, Mark. This is a real good, exciting run of fixtures that, as I say, we can really get invested in now.
Well, the thing is, we'll find out exactly what this squad's like that he's bought, because this is the time now you're going to see the squad players coming in, and the so-called squad players. I think the guys he's brought in the last week or so of the window, I think they can also take a claim for a lot of game time under him at Celtic. So let's see what they can do. As far as I'm concerned, you can't be fed up with that fixture, Kurt, because you've got a lot of exciting games here, a couple of away fixtures. This is the time where Celtic really push themselves and test themselves. And I think that's just why we were pushing so hard for the board to strengthen and bring in the higher calibre of players so we can fight on both fronts, you know what I mean? And the League Cup, when you win that match against Falkirk, and I shoot at Hampden already, Bhoycie, semi-final at Hampden. The big games coming thick and fast. Champions League starts a week, in fact, next Wednesday, and a match that I think is winnable. I'm not discounting that team at all. I mean, who are we to discount anybody in Europe? You know what I mean? But I do think Celtic going into this game with, you know, we are probably a better squad. I'd imagine a better squad, a better manager. You know, home crowd behind them. You've got to be fancying yourself for 3 points there. You've got a big game against Hearts. I'd love to sack him on Saturday. You know what I mean? I love Celtic to be there, but they've got a big.
You know
game.
it, mate.
I think what might save his job is he's got a European game on Thursday night, and I can't see Hearts sacking him the same week as. I don't think they would discombobulate their plans. You know, I mean, I think they will. I think you might see some Hearts players being drafted on Saturday, because no matter what way you look at it, boys, them get a point or getting 3 points in Europe in the Conference League is worth a lot more money to that board than a point or a win at Celtic Park. They're probably dismissed this game, you know, offhand. A game they could play full strength and still get beat 5-0, but I think at board level they'll be more interested in gaining points and money in the Conference League. So I kind of see them push the button on him, but he's getting to that stage now where the Hearts fans are very fickle. Honestly, they're like Rangers fans. You know, they were booing at full time last week and 2 weeks ago, and I love listening to it, and I hate them, and I think they're ready to press a button on this guy. But I'd love for us to be the ones that sack him, because I think back, you mentioned that one where I think it was Greg Taylor who went nudged. Is that it? But you remember years ago, I know, when we won the game, we won by Jan Vennegoor in the last minute. See when they scored the equaliser, I think it was Nacho Novo. About 5 of them ran on the park, and he was one of the subs, member. He didn't even get booked or nothing to celebrate in front of the Celtic fans during the match. I mean, and that's something that always sticks with me, that we can't. But I
can't remember that at all.
I don't know if it was shown on telly, but it's me and my pal Steg talk about it quite often, and it sticks in my mind because for some reason the referee just didn't book any of them, or he never booked him anyway. But anyway, he's always been a wee rat, and I love Celtic. I love Hearts to sack him because of a Celtic humiliation. But you spoke about long memories. Well, Brendan Rodgers has put 4-5. He's surpassed this Hearts mob time after time, and every post match it's Celtic were lucky today. Even stats show 80% possession and the rest of it. And Rodgers is always one for reminding people who's the boss in this country. And I think he will look at this game as a very important match. I don't think you see players drop for just the sake of it. I think Celtic's biggest match is always the next one. But I think you will see Celtic at a level now where we'll get a squad that's capable of making changes without taking chances, and we might see some players starting on Saturday who you might not expect, but I think Hearts will trap even more players, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, when you have to do that, the walls are closing in, Mark. The walls are closing in, because that's him now juggling, prioritising, hopefully, a favourable result in Europe, because he's conceding that it's going to be bad at the weekend. But if it's a big level of damage that we do, I think he'll be in soapy bubble, mate, and I think we can inflict that. I've been really impressed. First and foremost, was supporting bit. Nah, fuck it. The most important thing is getting him sacked. But the second most important thing is the way Celtic are playing right now has been absolutely outstanding. I think the start of the season really encouragingly. I've just got a feeling that if that clicks and Hearts continue being shite as they are, and he continues being the wee twat that he is, it could be a perfect storm. What a delicious way to kick off this exciting run of fixtures. A few comments have been coming in. Judge, just the next to there, Paul McFarlane, nice and love being back on the Bhoycie Bus with my journey all started. Now I'm on the road. I'm not coming off it. Cheers, Paul, mate. Appreciate that, my pal. Nice one. Right, okay. Do you think we should be benching smell the glove? He's starting to smell the glove. Oh, I know what it is. I've worked to smell the glove has said for Bratislava, do we go Kalmak, Bernardo, and Engels and Ben Chitati? And then obviously P. McLaughlin saying, do you think we should be benching Hatate? Smell the glove. I find this curious. You just forgot to put Hatate in it. Now it makes sense. I think this is a really interesting point. And this is one of the conversations. It might sound all fucking vanilla and everyone's rosy in the garden. These are the conversations, mate, I've been looking forward to have as a Celtic fan. Who plays out of those? Isn't that an exciting debate to be having? And let's be real. Bernardo, who was joined too late to do the benefit of pre-season, I'll still have my gripes about that. It's all about getting on board now, and I get all that. But my gripe is he should have been the beneficiary as much as everyone else has been of the fantastic pre-season that we had. However, notwithstanding it, we've been able to bide our time with him and bring him in because we had the luxury of Matt O'Reilly still being at the football club. So as Bernardo's got up to fitness, we then seen the full effects of that, I felt, against Rangers. And Bernardo's the Portugal under-21 captain still right now, Matt. It's not often we get leading nations under-21. Obviously, he's an elite player at the under-21 level for them. It's not often we can attract that sort of player or be able to afford them in terms of Celtic money at £3.5 million. I was really encouraged what I seen from him against Rangers, and a year of developing under Brendan's always good for any young footballer, in my opinion. And now with the team playing with more swagger, more pizzazz, I'm looking a lot more like a Brendan Rodgers side. I expect him to evolve at a quicker rate this year than he did last. But isn't it wonderful to then go, but he's got competition to get in there? Because he's got our captain. He's got a guy that we turned down apparently 12 to 15 million pounds from Leicester for. And he's got our 11 million pound record player. All in there. And he's got Luke McCowan, by the way. Who will grow. I don't think he'll be in contention to start the first Champions League game. So we'll remove him from that conversation for now. Not in a biased way, any way, shape or form. Just where we're at, he won't be considered to start that game. Unless there's injuries, I would guess. But that's 4 players for the 3 positions, mate, that I think is exciting debate. Where do you land with it all? Have you seen enough of Engels to have a formed opinion? Let's go for it.
Well, no, I haven't seen enough of him, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see enough of him. And by the way, I must admit, I think Rodgers has said now that Hatate's biggest issue is consistency. Bernardo was man of the match for me last Sunday against Saturday against Rangers, whatever it was. He was unplayable. He's come in, he's missed pre-season probably, as you said there, and he's come in, and that was his first big stage since Matt O'Reilly left. And I found it hilarious that Rangers fans must have been counting their blessings when he left. He left to go to Brighton, and then Bernardo rocks up and plays man of the match against them just to rub into them. But I think there is a case for. They were shouting about who's the best one to slot in rather than, oh no, is it Turnbull? Oh no, is it
How much more healthy is this, mate?
This is it. But this is the conversations that we've been. This is why we've been so critical, because we feel like we have got within ourselves to have this level of squad, and even more so, really. But this is. You ask any manager, they'd rather have a headache picking between 4 good players than a headache picking between 1 and 2 and a lot of dross. I mean, what Rodgers has probably got in his favour is he's probably got different types of games lying in front of him. You know what I mean? I think You click back in there? No? I thought you were clicking back in there. I thought you were going to say something. I thought that was your cue.
Actually, I
No.
don't have a hanky, so I had to kind of just do a big sniff there. So I thought, I better
Oh,
put
right,
myself
okay.
on mute.
Fair dues. No, I think what Rogers has got in front of him is like 4 or 5 different types of games. Like home and Hearts is different between home and the Champions League, and then the cup game against Falkirk's different between the other two together. So you get different types of game, different horses for courses. I can
Yep.
never say that saying properly. Horses for courses. Anyway,
It's because it doesn't really rhyme,
it
does
doesn't make
it?
any sense. It's just somebody just made up and that he's went, oh, well, I'll say that and all then. It doesn't
Horses
make any
for
sense.
courses.
Horses for
It
courses.
need to be like my voice on a Sunday morning. Horses for courses, if it was
Aye.
even.
You know what I mean? You don't get this in any other pod. And you don't get that Discord. That's what it's called. God.
Discord, that was
It's
it.
the right day one. If you don't want to pay 150 to join Discord, we can sit and talk about suit wise,
Fucking
man.
hell, man. I will pay you to fucking listen to your
Aye.
shit in a group chat environment,
Oh,
trust me.
definitely. And this is that. Like, I think the fixtures will help Rodgers with that rotation because he's not going into he's getting 5 or 6 really big games. But as I say, they're really different types of games, which kind of lend them to play different teams, different formations. I think Rodgers, the way he's been talking, is as if Celtic have got one style of play which they want to perfect, but they've got different ways to go about it. You know what I mean? And I was just quickly on McGowan, I was listening to him and he was telling the fan media that he actually played at number 10 or a winger's role most of his career. So it's
Yes.
maybe we're looking at the guy who we think's coming in. Maybe Celtic are maybe looking at number 10 rather than number 8. Maybe Celtic are looking at a winger. Because I saw him as a box-to-box midfielder. That's what I saw him as. Because anytime I've watched Dundee,
That
and I've
is what
seen
he
him
is,
play,
mate.
he's been very box-to-box.
What do you know
But
what he reminds me of? His career trajectory, mate. You'll see the similarities. So Paul Hartley was a winger, right?
mhm.
Till he was about 25, I think it was. Had one season at St Johnstone playing inside, and I remember my mate was a season ticket holder at St Johnstone at high school. We went and watched them actually against Rangers. Got beat 2-1, I think, but it was a right tight game. And I went, fuck, I get it. Because he used to go, Paul Hartley's the best midfielder in Scotland. Obviously, he would say in Scotland, that shite. Paul Lambert, Champions League winner on that shite. But but it was, but I was like, I watched him that game and I went, fucking hell, this is a player. I think he got moved to Hearts that season, and he transferred. That was him about 26 by then, and he transformed from being this winger, a box to box midfielder, and then of course by the time he got to Celtic, was more of a sitting midfielder. Let's be
He's
honest.
just centralised, wasn't he? The
And
Celtic,
isn't it fascinating to watch how people's careers can change like that? And I see similarities in the sense that I think the winger days for him are as over as they were for Paul Hartley when he joined Hearts, right? And I think we're gonna get a Luke McCowan that's now found his best form in his next position, and I think that's absolutely fair. I don't think he'll be considered, Mark, as a winger at all. I
No,
think
no,
he's
no. I just
midfielder
found it
in.
fascinating when he was saying that, and
Yes.
I found him very likable. Seeing his
Oh
pressers, I
yes.
found it very likable, and I don't know if you've watched. I
Definitely.
don't watch Open Goal, but I seen it popped up on my YouTube last night.
The
He's
darts thing.
playing darts with big Kevin Kyle. Do you see that, man? He's playing.
No, I've not watched it, but I've seen the thumbnail for it and all that.
He plays 3-3-0-1s against Kevin Kyle, and he's talking about he's a nice wee, says a nice wee guy, but. He's quite likeable, and when I seen that video of his dad, or I think it was his dad and his granddad, must have been when he came on against Celtic, he came on against Rangers. I thought to myself, that'd be my house if that was me running on the park against Rangers. And I thought, I like that, I love that, you know what I mean? And I think, see if it was me, I'd say, look, it's been my dream to play for Celtic since the day I've been born. But when I woke up this morning, I was still a Celtic player, and now the hard work starts. And that's, I think, what he was trying to say the other day there. And I thought, it's not like he came in and said, like, I'm here now, and he's like, no, I'm here to start working for Celtic, and I'm here to become a
Well, he's here to
Celtic player.
challenge for his first team place, and by the way, why not? Why not? Because a £1.1 million player with a year to go in SPL terms It's probably the equivalent of someone on a long, secure contract in the top 3 league in Europe, which is what we've just done. 1.1 million with a year to go for Dundee. It's big bucks. In terms of when is it? Had Dundee ever sold a player with 1 year left in the deal for over £1 million?
Not
Only a
very
year
often,
left.
no.
Never. Let's be honest, never.
No.
Luke McCowan's value shouldn't be compared to £11 million Engels, who's came from 30 starts and, as I say, a top 3 league in Europe. A record signing, I think he was for them as well. So let's just focus on what they can bring to the table for Celtic rather than the fee. And I hope Luke McCowan gets the chance that I think he deserves. But he is an intriguing one. He really is. He's a throwback signing for me that I think we've been lacking in recent times. There's been a snobbery from the recruitment team and management towards our country's league's players, where I always think you should have a philosophy of part of your transfer strategy. Someone is go look around and see the exceptional talent in your own league. Big clubs get them. Then do your shopping elsewhere or wherever the manager wants, right? See, initially, one of or not initially, but concurrently, you should always go. And who shined? Like I said, that Lennon Miller, for example, in 17 had a season like that. That you make him a Celtic player, you give him back to Motherwell.
Oh, you give him 5 years, you give him back for a year, definitely.
You make him Celtic player, and you start swinging your balls about, or your dick about, whatever you want to call it, and looking like the main man in the main event, I should say, in the country. That's been missing of late, and I'm glad we went back to that. But it's not just all about Luke McCowan, mate, because there's other comments coming in.
What's that noise? You got a washing or you get
my washing machine, mate. It's just
kicked in. I thought you were about to be blew up like one of Bin Laden's. I don't know. Big Blether coming towards you. I thought you were getting done in. I thought they caught you eventually in that bunker.
Mate, no, 9/11 was yesterday, mate, not today, mate. No, it's the 12th. Right, okay. Oh, we didn't really get an answer on that, though, did we? So we're going Calmat, Bernardo, and Engels, and Benjatati.
But for Hearts or the Cup European game, sorry?
European game for Bratislava.
I think you play Engels, mate. You bought him for the big games, didn't you? What did you think?
I think the compelling bit about his debate is Bernardo started his Champions League games last season, mate. It wasn't getting a start.
He plays
domestic games.
I think you play him with.
So Tati goes on the bench.
Tati goes on the bench. Just for me, I think he's too inconsistent.
It will be. I think it will rotate. I wonder if for Bratislava, I would be more adventurous than that. I would go your Engels sitting, Kalmak to be your number 8, and then you play a Tati more as your number 10 role, and because he's real creative. He's the real creative flip. This is a game that's got to be won. This isn't a game where we're playing a typical Champions League fixture we're in. I think you're right. I think Bernardo, Engels, McGregor is what you'll end up with. You'll land upon when we go to Atalanta and Dortmund, which are our next 2 fixtures. And I'm glad to get them out the way. Hopefully after 3 points in the board. But see, when you need 3 points on the board, mate, I think you go a wee bit more. And that's the beauty of this as well. You can actually mix it up to suit the fixture for a change, rather than just our 3 best players have to play. We can actually go, we've got 4 best midfielders now, and we're going to play the best 3 suited to that fixture. I think it'll need to be a more of an ambitious one for Bratislava at home. I would treat that as a game where let's go for the kill, Mark, no?
That's an option, I suppose, isn't it? If you go, as you said there, rather than just picking your 3 best players and just panic and see what happens, you can actually pick courses for courses. And as you said, home games might be different for away games, or at least away games that are probably going to be damage control or damage limitation. So why not? I'm pretty sure Rodgers has got his plan A and B in place already, and that might just well be how it looks.
Well, we will find out on that. There's more points coming in, by the way. Stubbsy's horse. I don't know if he's maybe just a word and I'm reading wrong, but it sounds like, I'll tell you how I'm reading it. Now you can tell me if you're reading it the same as me. Is winning our first Champions League game really that crucial? That's the tone I'm reading it in. And I'm going, course it is, Stubbsy. We've never had a golden opportunity for an opening game. Out of the 8 teams we play, that was your dream match day one.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity to make a start to this competition. We've never had in the Champions League an opportunity like this, and a fixture to really stamp our authority, give the team confidence going at the end. Of course, the next 2 games are the 2 hardest fixtures we've got out of 8. But go in there with your chin up, go in there with points on the board, less risk. Because if you were to do the unthinkable, get beat off Bratislava at home, and when I say unthinkable, that probably sounds a bit arrogant. It could happen, of course, it could. It's Celtic in Europe. But that's then potentially looking at, you're staring down the barrel of 3 defeats for 3. Because the likelihood is we lose to Dortmund away, Champions League finalists, and we'll lose to Atalanta away, Europa League winners. That's fair, by the way. That's not being downbeat. That's just fair. You've got to win ones we go into favourites as, because we've very few and far between will go into games in the Champions League environment as favourites. We are favourites for that game, strong favourites. So it's crucial, mate. And I do think for the slim chance we've got against Dortmund and Atalanta, you need to pick up those points against Bratislava to have the confidence going into them to make that slim chance a remote possibility. What do you think?
Well, you either back yourself or you don't back yourself. I mean, you don't want to be sitting saying Celtic are a Champions League club, but no beating a team like that in the first game of the campaign isn't important. You can't have it both ways, boys. We can't get to match day 4 without any points or even 1 point on the board. We've got the best opportunity we've had in a long time to get through to the last 16. My daughter.
I was reading it going, no, Stubbsy's obviously had more to add to his point, and his daughter's pushed his arm, so it's just sent straight away. I thought, come on, Stubbsy, mate, of course it's crucial.
I think it is. I think it's very crucial, because I think you can't get to match day 4, as I say, chit-chat to get a win. I think you can kind of write off match day 2 and 3. Anything in the games is a bonus. And I think, if you handpicked your fixtures, you could have done a better job. To be quite honest with you, it was as good as we could get it. It's the squad we've got is as good as you're going to get it. And I think we've won our first group stage match in the Champions League yet, since we've ever been there. So this is the first chance.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
And what a statement that would be for Rodgers. He took a lot of stick for the winning Champions League games. He got one at the end of the last campaign, right?
He won our first ever away game as well, remember?
I know, 3-0 away.
3-0 away to Anderlecht.
That's it. A good team would beat us 1-0 home. I mean,
he must have had the most brutal Champions League draws ever.
Well, I think when he was at Liverpool, I mean, I think he had Madrid and all that. I mean, doesn't have he's played.
Well, with Celtic, I'm just thinking Celtic. Man City was what, Pep Guardiola's first season of Man City?
I'm trying to think. Man City, PSG, Bayern Munich,
Barcelona.
Come on, this was different. Run up against that. This is the real difference between the Europa League and the Champions League. Europa League will see the odd bad Inter Milan. The Champions League sees the very good Man Cities, the very good Real Madrids. That's a totally different end of the spectrum altogether. So Celtic can't really be expecting to pick up points willy-nilly. But seeing a group in a table like this, I can see points for Celtic. And I'll say it again, we can't have it both ways. We can't be sitting saying, let's take Celtic seriously, let's take ourselves seriously. Get draws like that, get first games hand-picked like that at home, and no call it crucial to win. You've got to win. I think if we have any hope of getting through to the next stage, we have got to win the games that we're expecting ourselves to win. Because I don't think we can expect to go to Aston Villa and pick up 3 points. It's a dream and there's a chance, but we can't be expecting it. We've got 4 home games that I think if you pick up points in each and every one of the home games, you've got a good chance to get through to the next phase. And if Celtic don't pick up the ones that they should win, any chances are we can him after the first 8 matches.
Right. Last question, Mark, we've got before we go. CJ's just pulled this out of nowhere. I get a lot of shite on that. Well, not a lot of shite. I don't call it shite. Feedback. People don't like it when I bring up the former manager's name, and I'm never always that complimentary. I wasn't that complimentary. If you ever watched the other pod that was on, the Wee Fellas pod, I was pretty outspoken on what I thought his managerial record shaped up as, and why I wasn't overly enthusiastic about the appointment. And but CJ's asking, how do you feel about Ange Postecoglou? Was he a good guy or a rat? I mean, I lean towards the rat side, and I'll tell you why. If Brendan Rodgers is the criminal rat, the definition of rat, let's be honest, that's where the term comes from, is Rodgers. You know, the same way Maurice Johnson is Judas, Rodgers became the rat. That is the honest truth. That's how that will be viewed upon when people look back. Postecoglou is far more of a rat, in my opinion, than Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers was approached. Ange Postecoglou did all the approaching as Celtic manager, and it was 3 months. It was made clear on TalkSport, 3 months his agent pushed Spurs to get that job. 3 months means that during Celtic's season. And Celtic got wind of it. And the reason you can prove Postecoglou was working his ticket or had made his overtures to Spurs, or his agent had on his behalf, which he was obviously fully approving of, is Brendan Rodgers sitting in the stands at said cup final, which was Celtic's way of saying, fuck you. We know. We've found out and we've got a plan. You better hope you didn't use pencil when you signed down there, son, because there'll be no coming back here. So, for me, that's the definition of a rat. Brendan Rodgers was put in a position where he'd be fucked off by the board, which suddenly everyone's been on board with, by the way, for the last, 4 windows. Everyone agrees the board don't do enough. Brendan Rodgers, if you remember, Champions League football went out by AEK Athens. All his signing targets they didn't get. 6 months later, he was approached by Leicester City. And was told, he actually asked them, can I join you at the end of the season? This is fact. And the reason he joined Leicester is because they said it's never, never. That is all true. So, if Rodgers is a rat, Ange Postecoglou is a bigger rat. I probably think what's happened, if I take it all, look at the bigger picture, is the inevitables happened in both cases. They've had outstanding spells at Celtic. I think Rodgers more spectacular than Ange Postecoglou's, because I thought Rodgers at least represented Celtic. I think Ange is Ange Postecoglou FC. Even at Spurs, I think he's Ange Postecoglou FC. But to be honest, both have done the natural progression, mate, if you do well at Celtic and went to the EPL. Right? Rodgers went to a team that had won the league only 4 years before, four seasons before, and Postecoglou goes to what is a traditional top 5, top 6 club in England. You know, with the best stadium in the world. It's one of the best stadiums in the world. I think both are totally understandable. Where's your thoughts on it, Marc?
I think you can be kind of realistic and say, he's took the right job for his career and his family and all the rest of it, and that can be set aside when you look at how you feel as a Celtic fan. And I think when you heard Madison speaking that he'd spoken to Ange 2 or 3 months before he left Celtic, that he was going to be got to Spurs. I mean, Ange was speaking to a Leicester player about joining Spurs while he was a Celtic manager. This was in Madison's own words. He said that. So that just shows you that he's been at Celtic Park for a long time. Rodgers was just as much at Celtic the day before he got that offer for Leicester than he was the year before. He got pissed off with the board. He got an offer he couldn't refuse, and he left. And Ange was called a rat because I think some junkie was getting interviewed right after he announced he was leaving, and he called him a rat, and it just stuck. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? The junkie's word. But, you know, in my opinion, it's not going to surprise you. I think he's a bit of a rat and all.
Please read that out, mate. I'll read it. Stubbsy's horse. I would not call Ange a rat, but I wouldn't let him guard my cheese stash either.
Oh, no, I wouldn't either. What the fuck?
That's brilliant, pal, mate. That's class.
I don't think any of them are rats, but see if you're going on the rat scale and Rodgers is a rat, you've got to say that Ange is a rat and all. I'd never subscribed to Rodgers being the rat because of that. It's because of that scenario. And you know what? For a long, long time, I still pined for Rodgers to be back. I've no pine for Ange Postecoglou once for the minute he's left the club. And did I like the football underneath him? Superb. Did I enjoy some of his tirades towards the Scottish media? I laughed up like the rest is, but I never bought into the same sort of loving that. Bhoycie, I was being sick in my own mouth listening to Celtic podcasters and
I've
Celtic
never
fans.
known anything like that.
It was the most gut wrenching, stomach churning stuff I've ever listened to. I listened to one of them in one of the podcasts. One of the guys says that Ange taught him a lot as a person, and I was like, really, it just taught me how to watch Celtic.
It's just bullshit. I've never known anything like it, anything like that. And I think you're right. I've probably got that wee bit of that in me as well, where that almost put me off. That's probably not Angie's fault. That's not Angie's fault though, really, either, I suppose. But
I was dead for him. See when he first joined, I bought an Australian flag, and I was at the Preston North End game, and I was like, come on. And for day one, maybe day 7 or 10, I had it in my head where I really, really want this guy to succeed. It's the same with Ralston. See, if everybody tells me something, I'm always like, no, I'll make up my own mind. And I was like, no, I want to give this guy a chance.
I didn't feel as warm as that, to be honest. But
I was like, I want this guy to succeed so much, and I didn't warm towards him. But when you talk about, don't forget, Ange tried to take every single member of their backroom staff apart from the guy hired, Harry Kuehl. He broke one person with him. He tried to take Gavin Stratton and his laptop. He tried to take John Kennedy. He tried to take Steve Woods. He even tried to take me, and I was busy. If Rodgers did that, Rodgers took Colo Toure as a player, then coach, and he took the boy who's the new manager in England, in Ipswich, I think it is. The boy who's
Chris Davies.
And
hey, the thumbs up's appeared.
Oh,
it's been a while.
Well, it's because I'm so sad now. But that was his staff. You know what I mean? That was his staff.
Who's he in charge of now? It's not Ipswich. No, Chris Davies.
Owen? No.
Birmingham.
Birmingham
City.
Is that?
Birmingham City signed quite a few players for Scotland, but they're in League One.
He signed 2 of the Huns, do you know? Am I right? 2 or 3 of the Huns? No. I don't know. I make it up. But anyway, for me, if
Roger
is a rat, he's I don't know.
A bigger rat, king rat, Splinter.
Splinter. Oh, aye. Turtles.
On that note, we will leave it there. Yes, cheers for that, Mark. That was a brilliant show tonight.
Oh, that was excellent, mate.
Good banter, mate. Just good fun. But anyway, watch out for the prices of soup. We'll see you all later.
Oh, be careful.